No pressure.
Go funny guy.
Right to the front.
Raimondo.
Right, that's you.
It's really funny.
That's you, mate. That's it. Oh, right. You in there?
Main man to the front. Am I supposed to get up here? Come on.
Oh, sorry.
That was a close up.
Okay, I'll try and carry as well as possible. Please excuse me reading. First of all, I'd like to think of myself, first of all, as a friend of Ray, but as his line manager, unfortunately it falls on me to do his speech, so I do apologise, Ray. It's not that I dislike public speaking, I'm just not very funny. So, if you want to join in with your heckling and your banter, that would help because it would make me funnier. First of all, thanks for everyone to coming for today. Ray's given me a list of all those that he especially wanted here with him to celebrate his retirement, so if you're here, he obviously likes you. I think it's also fair to say, looking around the room at the great turnout, that it's a reflection of how well Ray's thought of and how much she's going to be missed. No doubt many of you have heard Ray going on about his retirement for days.
Months.
Every prisoner he's dealt with, every shift he's done, he's been going on and on. This is my last person I'll fingerprint. This is my last day of term. This is my last night doing so on. I think to top it all off, he said the other night, I think this is going to be the last shit I ever take in the custody staff. But he did manage to go in style. The very last prisoner that he ever processed was a guy that had been arrested for attempted murder. So Ray, well done. We'll leave a bit out about him getting away from the D group officers.
Nice job.
I usually get more emotional doing a speech about something than they do, so please excuse me. For those that don't know, Ray joined the City Police in 1995.
When?
20 years ago. He was shown the ropes by a well-known Yona, the self-proclaimed Dundrum mistress. Ray's always reflected very fondly of these early days and how much he appreciates the time Yona invested in him. I am told Yona was actually very strict with him though.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the first time that Ray's been disciplined by
Set the mask.
But she tried her best to make him competent, but never mind, Yona, at least she tried. Ray's done 20 years with us and worked with many shiny new custody sergeants as well, often having to show them the ropes. I was speaking to Ashley May only today about how he was there from the start when she first started doing custody. And along with the other D group skippers, Steve Holland, Nina Houghton, Rita Jones, and not forgetting Judy Ballard and Emma Brown, who unfortunately can't be with us today because they're on maternity leave, we feel honoured to say that we've worked with you right to the very end, and we'd like to thank you not just from the governor and the skippers, but from all of D group especially for making being at work much more fun. Working with Ray and his other partner in crime, Derek, I'm sure that we do have some laughs, and Ray has certainly seen some things in his time. On one occasion, Steve Phillips tells me that Ray had found a loaded firearm under the custody bench. Apparently at the time this made the inspector, who was Keith Harrison, go white as a sheet. On a serious note, I think this shows the serious side of what we do and how often we have to deal with difficult and quite dangerous people. I've always been impressed with Ray's professionalism and patience, and he's an absolute asset. Even Ray can be pushed too far. It was only a few weeks ago when we had to shut custody at Bishopsgate for some refurb, and we was at Snow Hill. We had a particularly difficult female prisoner. Without sounding sexist, we all know that the worst prisoners are drunk females. It's the first time I've heard Ray complain in a long time, and I think he felt then that he was ready to go, and he said to me with a smug smile, I've had enough of this shit now. But as I've go back to the sergeants that I say he's always worked with and been a good friend to. He's certainly become from a colleague to a good friend of mine, both him and Jean. You see, many of these sergeants go up the ranks and he's remained good friends with them, proving that the City Police is not just a place of work but a family, and Ray, I think, is a perfect example of this.
Yeah.
Some of these inspectors haven't always been so kind with their words back. As a man now in his mid-60s, one inspector, who shall remain nameless, likes to comment on the smell of piss every time he walks in custody. You know who you are. I won't tell you who. I'll give you a little clue. Inspector Pest. So it brings me on to Ray's retirement. He's obviously very excited about this new chapter and being married to a lovely lady like Jeannie, who wouldn't be. I'm sure he's really looking forward to spending. I'm sure she's really looking forward to spending every hour with you. After years of being able to do coffee mornings, shopping, and nights out without him. She's told me she's actually quite nervous about spending so much time with him. So she's asked me to save the job later on and send out invitations to invite you all to the funeral in September. She said if it's not his, it'll certainly be hers. I think it's obvious to see how much Ray thinks of Jeannie, and I'm sure we wish them all the well for the future. Ray's a keen family man who loves seeing his children and grandchildren, both here and in the States. I understand he gets rather spoiled when he's in the States, so not having to be back at work will suit him well. From what I hear though, it's not always been an obvious match between Ray and Jeannie. They met before Ray joined the City, when Jean was working as an office manager in the Met CRD. By all accounts, Jeannie had a bit of a reputation as being a bit of a hyacinth bouquet. So when she told everyone in the office that she'd met this new guy and that she was head over heels in love, they was all quite keen to see what he looked like. So you can imagine her surprise when he rolled up outside the station. The first time he picked her up, he rolled outside the station and he pulled up in an orange Skoda.
I did actually, yeah.
So Jean was the butt of many jokes, but thankfully Ray has lasted longer than the Skoda. Before Ray joined the City, he worked as a milkman for 20 years. Jeannie told me that she had divorced a DCI and married a DCM, which is a Dairy Crest milkman. But she said she always thought he could do better and saw the true value of his character and his warmth, so she encouraged him to apply for the City. Thankfully he was successful and the City has been all the richer for it and all the colleagues at work.
She must have told you this.
Oh, yes.
So, after all that, I think you've probably heard enough of me speaking, so I'll get down to the important bit. Your friends have had a collection and we wanted to buy you a fitting gift for being such a top bloke. I said what I wanted to get, and Jeannie was a bit worried about the cost and offered to make up the shortfall. But thankfully this wasn't necessary. All your friends here today have been extremely generous, and from me I'd like to thank you all for making my job a lot easier doing the collection. It's also thanks to Zoe Judd, who did the collection from Wood Street, and she's really glad that she can't be here today. So before I give you a gift, I'd like to all of you to raise your glass, and from all of us, thank you for everything. Good luck. We've got a couple of gifts here. He tried to get rid of his lanyard today. He said, I don't want this fucking thing anymore. So I've used it as a I think something you wanted, so you don't like it.
My lanyard.
You've still got a gift receipt with that, you can take it back. So,
I'm not so good at that.
thanks very much.
Right, thank you.
Sorry.
Do I open this now?
Yes.
Do I open this now?
Yes.
Right.
Take time.
Right. Thank you for this box.
Typical man, isn't it? Yeah.
Right. It's another box.
It's a Russian doll.
That is everything I ever wanted.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
I've always, Jeannie, you're not supposed to be here.
Oh, sorry.
Honestly, I've always wanted a decent watch, you know?
It goes off when your medication's due.
Right, well done.
Oh,
Another one right.
Jim, that's fabulous.
And,
That's just what we got with the leftover with the collection.
oh, I love whiskey.
Yeah.
And it's a single malt. I like it even better.
What?
Am I supposed to say something? Right. Thank you all for coming today. I'm really pleased to have worked with you all in the past. I haven't got a bit of paper in my hand, but I'll try and go a bit slower and I can remember what I was going to say next time. But it's been a pleasure working with you all over the years. And everyone here I've worked with over the years, and it's been absolutely brilliant. Yes, I joined the police, City of London Police, in 1995. I was talked into the job for applying. There was a job advertised in the Evening Standard in 1994 for 10 jailers in the City of London Police. It was a new thing then. It was all run by police staff then, or policemen. And I applied, along with, I think it was over, Yona will get me here, it was over 1,000 applicants, and I didn't get the job. I was actually number 11 out of the 10 they needed. I was asked to go on a reserve list, and then in them days, most of the staff that got employed were ex-military, you know, RAF, Army, Navy, and all those 10, correct me if I'm wrong, Your Honour, but they were all...
Funny handshake we go.
And at the time there was a woman in charge of HR, who probably not a lot of people liked at the time. And her name was Norma Beachy. I don't know if any of you remember her, but she believed in equal opportunities. And me being a milkman, and all the others, RAF, Army, etc.
I got a gold top every morning.
She thought it'd be good. A milkman would be in the equal opportunities would be given a job. So after not getting through the initial 10 places, I was number 11. 9 months later, they would actually said, would I like to go on the reserve list? And then I've done all the interviews. I think Neil Herrier, I don't know if you remember him, he was on the ball, etc. We went for all that, and 9 months later, I got a call. Do you want to join the City of London Police?
Got a call, we had 3 pints for you.
And I said yes, and then the rest is history. I've been with the City of London Police now for 20 years. And yes, you're right, the Dungeon Master, or the Dungeon Mistress, Yona got the first job of, you know, putting me into place. And she was a hard taskmaster, I must admit, but
The
a lot of
best.
swearing and beating. She got me there, and I've been doing this ever since. I don't know what else to say. But I'd like to thank Jim today for organising all this and getting everyone together.
Yeah,
Majesty.
yeah.
Well done, Jim. Andy was there, he was my running partner. Yeah? Years ago. Rob, I remember Rob, he didn't know nothing about it. Is he pilot? Yeah? I got another inspector here, yeah? And he didn't let, I found a gun one day, and I said, Sergeant, you better come up to custody. There's a gun there. He said, you're having me on. It was April the 1st. He didn't believe me, did you? No. But I came out, he said, he looked at him and went like that. You're having a laugh. But yes, it was a gun, wasn't it? And we didn't find the owner to it, but no. But that was the day before cameras. But I don't know what else to say. But anyway, thank you all for coming. It's been a brilliant turnout, and
Yeah.
here we go.
Yeah. Probably have to watch this video every day now.
But I love the watch, thank you.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Brilliant.
Regis
Beautiful.
Ray, hip hip!